The NFL just announced that the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills game will not resume. It will be officially canceled and it will be ruled as a no contest. Now, in this video, I basically want to talk about the letter that the NFL released explaining the rules to what's going to happen week 18. What does that mean for playoff seedings? What does that mean for the AFC Championship game? What does that mean for the top three seeds, the Kansas City Chiefs, Bills, and the Bengals? What does that mean for every single team heading into the playoffs, heading into week 18? There is a lot of different things. What's going on? What's good? What's bad? The ugly. And we're going to talk about all that stuff, including the NFL letter the Roger Goodell, the administration, has sent to us and gave to the public. We're going to talk about all that stuff and scenarios right now. The NFL has officially declared Bills versus Bengals a no contest, reveals AFC title game plan. So right now, the top three seeds, the Chiefs are number 1, the Bills are number 2, and the Bengals are number 3. And next week, the Bills will be playing against the Patriots to see if the Patriots will get in. And next week, the Cincinnati Bengals will be playing the Baltimore Ravens week 18. And that game was supposed to be whoever wins the division. But now, I'm going to talk about what this means for that game. Because now, since there is no contest, both teams technically do not have the 18 or 17 games that all the other teams have. Technically, they're going to have the 16 games that happened previous years. So what this means for the Cincinnati Bengals is that technically they are going to officially win that division. They locked in the number 3 seed and win that division, okay, because of percentage wins. Since there's less games, you're going to have a more percentage win compared to the Baltimore Ravens. It doesn't matter what the Ravens do next week. They could win, lose, tie, draw, whatever, and the Baltimore Ravens will still be in the wild card race. They cannot win that division, okay? Now, the Buffalo Bills, with this record pending next week, they will still be in the number 2 spot, and the Kansas City Chiefs will also stay in the number 1 spot, okay? Now, a lot of different things have come out because of the AFC title game, and honestly, guys, before we continue, I do agree with what the NFL have done, okay? I do agree that this game had to be canceled. This game could not have been played, and honestly, guys, there's been so much going on, especially with Damar Hamlin. I agree 130 million% to what the NFL and the administration, Roger Goodell, have done here. I think this was probably the best case scenario for everybody, okay? Now, there's still a lot of different things and decisions that need to be made regards to what's going to happen for the AFC title game. This is the letter that the NFL has released to the public stating Week 17 Buffalo-Cincinnati game will not be resumed. Neutral AFC Championship game site being considered. There is a lot of different things that are still being considered. If you guys want to read this, we can, but we're going to talk about the main points here to keep it short, okay? In the very bottom, there are going to be many different things, okay? These are the 3 scenarios that could potentially happen. The Buffalo and Kansas City both win or both tie a Buffalo versus Kansas City championship game would be a neutral site. Scenario number 2 would be the Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Baltimore wins or ties. If Buffalo and Kansas City championship game will be at a neutral site. Scenario number 3, if Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Cincinnati wins, a Buffalo or Cincinnati versus Kansas City championship game will be at a neutral site. So that's just basically talking about if one of the top 3 teams or the number 1, 2, 3 seed end up going to the AFC Championship game, it would be at a neutral site because this game got canceled, okay? And honestly, guys, that scenario, it may not favor, a lot of people may disagree or not agree or agree with whatever's going to happen. If the Kansas City do end up going all the way to the championship, they may think, oh, the Kansas City deserves it if they were the number 1 spot. But you have to think about it. What if the Bengals would have won that game against the Bills if the Damar Hamlin case didn't happen? Would they have been the number 1 seed? You get me? There is a lot of what ifs. So I honestly think these scenarios, whether one of these 3 teams end up meeting each other or seeing each other at the championship game, it will be at a neutral site. What type of neutral site? That's still something that hasn't been decided by the administration. Now, another thing, guys, now that Cincinnati officially clinched the division, there is also a scenario for the Baltimore Ravens for next week. If Baltimore defeats Cincinnati in Week 18, it will have defeated Cincinnati. Meaning, because the Baltimore Ravens already defeated the Cincinnati Bengals in the previous week in the beginning of the season, a divisional opponent twice, but will not be able to host a playoff game because Cincinnati would have a winner percentage for a 16-game schedule, and Baltimore will have for a 17-game schedule. So what that means, guys, the only reason the Cincinnati Bengals clinched the division officially today is because they're going to have a higher winning percentage in the division, in the conference, and everything, okay? Because they're playing one less game than the Ravens, okay? But now, if Baltimore defeats Cincinnati and those two clubs are scheduled to play a wildcard game against one another, the site for that game would be determined by a coin toss, okay? And I honestly think, whether you guys think it's fair or not fair, that's probably the fairest way to see who's going to get the home field advantage. The Baltimore Ravens could get the home field advantage, or the Cincinnati Bengals could get the home field advantage. So if Cincinnati wins the Week 18 game, where Baltimore and Cincinnati are not scheduled to play one another in the wildcard game, the game sites will be determined by the regular scheduling procedures. So there's many different procedures that are there, and there's still a lot of different tweaks that the NFL, Roger Goodell administration, has not officially released, or what's going to happen, what's going on. Now, these things is only going to be for the AFC. They're also in considering to ask the number 1 seed if they want home field advantage or the bye week. And then seed number 2 will have the other opposite option, okay? So if the Kansas City decide, you know what, we want the bye week, the Bills will have home field advantage for that wild card game. Or if they want home field advantage, then the Buffalo Bills will get the bye week. It all really depends on what gets finalized. All we know right now, okay, right now, what is finalized is the Cincinnati Bengals have clinched the division. The Baltimore Ravens have a chance to basically try to get home field advantage if they win next week with a coin toss. The top 3 teams are going to have a neutral site if they end up meeting each other in the AFC Championship game. Obviously, there's still some tweaks that are still, missing, okay? Now, where it's going to be the neutral site, we don't know. What's going to happen if many different shifts, or there's little seedings, or what's going to happen to the Bills, because nobody's really talked about the Bills. What if they lose? What if they win? We don't know. What is going to happen for the Baltimore Ravens? Because on Twitter, there's many different people that are saying the Baltimore Ravens got the worst end of the stick. Now, whether you guys agree or not, let me know down in the comment section. It's just, in my personal opinion, I think this was probably the fairest way it could have happened. Because if that freak incident happened later in the beginning of the season, this game would have got played, okay? Now, they were also even considering to play this game after Week 18, but push back the playoffs a week, and that just would have messed up the schedule for basically everything, okay? And last but not least, there's one big question mark that I do kind of want to address, that I do think that Adam really put a nail in the coffin in it. What if, way before the championship game for the AFC, what if there is a 16 team ready in the divisional round that is playing a team that's played the 17 games? Who's going to have the home field advantage there? I mean, one could say maybe the 16 team one would have never gotten that spot if it wasn't for this freak incident, okay? So there is potentially the first time, at least to what I can remember, I mean, I've never seen a game get canceled before like this, or an accident like that. There is a possibility that for the AFC, there may not be home field advantages all across the board for the top 3, maybe even 4 teams, okay? That is just a freak incident or a freak scenario, but there's still many different questions to be answered as the coming days pass by, as Week 18 finishes. I am pretty sure way before the wild card weekend, we will have the answers, we will have the solutions to what the NFL, Roger Goodell, and the administration have agreed to. And obviously, there is a vote, there is more opinions to be made, there is more clarifications, there's a lot of different things that has to be talked about. We're going to be talking about that stuff as soon as that stuff comes out. But guys, this is what's going on. This is breaking news announced today. I had to make this video to make sure you guys got the top-notch information. If this is something you like and you do appreciate, please remember to subscribe down to the channel, hit the like button, and push the video out to more and more people who love sports like you and me, especially the NFL playoffs that it's coming up in, less than 2 weeks. So let's get it done, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to hit the like button. It only takes 2 seconds. Look, that's it. Subscribe down to the channel. Peace out. See you guys next time. Bye.